Okay, so to fill in our value scales, we're going to start by hatching. So hatching is essentially just straight lines across. And I started with my medium value in the center, and then I decided to make it darker as it moves to the right. So I just put my lines closer together, and then on the left, where it's less dark, I put my lines further apart. Cross hatching is similar to hatching, but instead of just lines in one direction, I go back over them in the opposite direction diagonally. So again, as I move further to the right on my value scale, the lines get closer together to make it darker. And then on the left side of the value scale, the lines are further apart to make it less dark. Now for stippling is essentially just a bunch of tiny little dots that you put all over that box to fill it in and make it look like a nice even medium gray. I'm going to skip the rest because it takes too long. Now scumbling is just a bunch of zigzags and squigglies, squiggle marks. There's no real pattern to it, but the lines do get closer together, or all your squiggles get closer together as you move to the right of the value scale to make it darker, and then there's not as many layers or close together on the left. Now for shading the forms, we're going to start by creating a more blended value scale. So I'm holding my pencil flat so you can see it uses sort of the side of the pencil, and it gets a nice even coat of lead as I move from left to right to make it darker. Now I'm going to start filling in this cylinder form, and I'm making the top a nice medium gray using hatch marks. And then I'm filling in the left side, but I'm skipping an area for the highlight, and then I'm going back over the left to show the shadow. So this is assuming my light source is coming from the front and slightly to the left. So I'm doing the same thing but using cross hatching on my cone. So I'm leaving an area where there's the highlight. For stippling, I'm just adding my dots on the left side and making a nice medium gray. The top will be slightly less gray, and then there's no dots added to the right because that's the highlighted side where the light is hitting it most directly. Now for the sphere, I'm leaving an area of white that's closest where the light is hitting it. That's my highlight, and then I'm making it darker as I move down, and I'm using nice circular motions, you notice, to fill in the sphere to help emphasize that roundness. And I'm adding in my core shadow here, making it the darkest, and then I'm going to add my cast shadow to the ground to help make it look even more three-dimensional. I'm taking my eraser and emphasizing the highlights and going back to each of my forms, adding more shadows, helping to make the forms look as three-dimensional as they can.